Thank you everybody for joining us this week on NWA Wildside. Stephen Prazak along with Dan the Dragon Wilson. And this week, normally I would say it's one for the books, but we're not exactly sure what's going on this week. There's a shakeup among the management structure and the ownership of NWA Wildside. We don't know who's involved. We don't even know what matches are going to be on the show today. I'm sure, in fact, it's a Wildside show. The matches will be off the charts crazy. But who is running the show, Dan? Who's running the show?
If I had the answer to that question, I'd be a very rich man, but unfortunately I don't. We do know that Mr. Wildside, Steve Martin, has chosen to sell NWA Wildside. He's taken the profits and, well, he's pretty well gone. We have new management. That new management will be announced tonight. We don't know who the new owners are. We don't know who the new managers are. But I think it could really be a good thing for the future to help possibly take Wildside to the next level. New ownership, focus, determination, and reaching for the stars in NWA Wildside. So let's get down to ringside and find out about this exciting announcement.
They're gonna powerbomb Blood Fresh in a steel casket!
The champion just kicked Scotty Red! Scotty Red with a cycle slam! Yes! We have a new Wildside Heavyweight Champion! Ladies and
The following interview is rated G.
G-rated. Gorgeous, great, cooler than cool.
Oh, we are cooler than cool. Icons. Hey, cool, do you know what an icon is?
Isn't them the little things that you put in a pie?
No, you moron, that's a pecan.
But besides that, as good as we are,
And we are good.
every single week we get stuck in the ring with all these tag teams that we know we can beat. And all these other tag teams getting these great title matches and everything, when none of them have the right stuff like we do.
We have the right stuff.
I mean, let's do some comparison. You got the Mighty Brothers.
Who's the Mighty Brothers?
You know, Mighty Mouse and Mighty Morphin Power Ranger.
Oh, Slim J and Mike Pittman.
You got the NWA Wildside Tag Team Champion Blackout.
You can be a G.
Yeah, word up, G.
Rated.
You got Project Mayhem, White Trash, and Tank. I mean, they're fat, they're out of shape.
Oh man, and do they smell bad?
Oh, God.
You got Total Destruction. When G-Rated gets through with them, they'll be known as Totally Destroyed.
So destroyed. Speaking of destroyed, you see how Destiny was so checking me out?
Checking you out, she grabbed my foot.
My foot's bigger.
No, my foot's bigger.
Uh-uh.
Well, you know what they say about guys with big feet? Big shoes! She was checking both of us out.
And you know why?
Because the G stands for good looking.
Pretty full of himself and might be one of the most, one of the nastiest people you ever actually run across. Hopefully Caprice Coleman realizes what he's got his hands full with Jeremy Lopez this week on Wildside.
Well, Lopez, a student of the Malenko Dojo. That's no secret. His trip to Japan, he's a skilled technician for sure.
He's become very bitter over the last few weeks in Wildside. There's the fact they're not respecting him. Here, the fans not respecting Lopez as that technical competitor, as that athlete, as that competitor that competes in Japan and graduate of the Malenko Dojo. They hate Jeremy Lopez, and I can't figure out for the life of me why. Well, yeah, I can. And Caprice Coleman here in the ring, the show-stopping, crowd-popping, body-rocking, yada, yada, yada. He's been in a very violent feud with the usual suspects. They put him out of action for a couple of weeks here. Blackout and the new Havoc, the newest member, along with New Jack, the usual suspect, has just been, they've been on a tear here. The body count continually rising every week. Caprice Coleman was a victim of that. But last week, he cost the usual suspects a victory when he got involved in that matchup, that six-man tag involving New Jack, Blackout, Total Destruction, and Tank.
Suffice to say, that is true. However, Caprice Coleman is a pro wrestler first and foremost, even if he does seem to rewrite the whole industry of professional wrestling every time that bell rings. And around Blackout and Havoc, I mean, it's literally more than street brawling, it's street thuggery, if that's a word. I guess that's a word. And Caprice Coleman wants to show off his wrestling smarts. That's what he loves to do. That's why he's the crowd popping, yada, 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 as you put it out. Blackout seems to be stilting him on his rise to the top, and he takes that to great offense. And an opponent, Jeremy Lopez, who is utterly full of wrestling, all kinds of wrestling. I think it's an opportunity that Caprice Coleman is looking forward to, maybe even more than Jeremy Lopez.
Well, poor Coleman, he has not been able to set his sight on championship, not been able to set his sight on success because he's been embroiled in this feud for so long with Blackout and the usual suspects, his former compadres, three-quarter Nelson. Coleman showing Jeremy Lopez he can take it to the mat as well.
Trying to wrap up Jeremy Lopez into a small package, and that's not a hype joke on young Mr. Lopez. Caprice Coleman laughing at the expense of Mr. Lopez, and Jeremy is none too excited over that prospect.
Coleman has Lopez here. What the hell is this going to be?
Well, Speedy Nelson told Coleman to break the hold, and he did. And Lopez landed right on his face. I guess that's a face.
You said it many times before. Caprice Coleman, been your favorite competitor in Wildside to watch, and he's certainly one of the most athletically gifted competitors and charismatic guys we've ever seen here in Wildside. And be a great win here for Coleman to defeat Jeremy Lopez. Lopez has his A game on tonight. Big drop kick by Caprice Coleman.
Lopez has had his hands full with Caprice Coleman. Coleman is just ecstatic. He's in fits of giggles in the middle of the ring. I hope this is not going to come back and bite young Mr. Coleman on the butt.
Everyone's having a laugh at the expense of Lopez. I have a feeling his high school career was much like that.
Yeah, that was just last week.
Maybe that's why he's so bitter.
Maybe that's why he's so tall. Okay. Lopez taking the neck of Caprice Coleman, draping it over that top rope. And that could be the end that Lopez has been looking for from the get-go.
Lopez hooking Coleman there. I've heard of a suplex, brainbuster actually.
Big hello to all the Wildside Seminole fans in Tallahassee, watching us every week on WAB, Channel 17, every Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Hello, Tallahassee. Spend some time down there.
Lopez has been a double underhook. He's got it. Double underhook suplex, beautifully executed.
Not enough to pin Ice Coleman. Crowd getting on the case of Lopez that they have since the very first time he set foot in this building. Even before anybody had a chance. Oh my goodness! Coleman landed head first onto that bottom rope, which I'm sure caused even more damage than that drop kick from Jerlo.
That concerns me very much because he actually had some neck damage when he was attacked by the usual suspects.
I think he may have got some more. Perhaps Lopez will use his opportunity to zoom in on the neck of Caprice Coleman. Be a good strategy.
And Coleman, I've spoken with him. Oh, Harley Lariat! I've spoken with Coleman on many separate occasions involving the usual suspects and what they're doing to him. And all he did by getting away from the usual suspects is he wanted to bring himself to a higher level. All he wanted to do was take himself out of the ghetto, so to speak, and he wanted to make something out of himself. And the usual suspects, they didn't want to have any of that. They didn't want to see Caprice Coleman succeed. It was all or none for the usual suspects, and when they turned his back on him, you would think it signed his death warrant if it was anybody else, but Caprice Coleman proving that not him.
Coleman is not going to be jerked around by the team of Blackout. No siree. And this week, Jeremy Lopez is bringing Caprice Coleman up to the game that he brings every week here at Wildside. And this is one of the most exciting matches, I think, in recent days. I'm sure pure wrestling we've seen here at the NCW Arena.
There's the Thriller in Cornelia. And finally connects. Wait a minute, Lopez has Coleman here. Snake Eyes on the top turnbuckle. Oh, the back suplex.
Incredible how Jeremy Lopez is taking a lot of what you say, the old school moves of professional wrestling, turning them to his advantage, but taking them to the new millennium version of that as well. He's just combining the best of the old and the new. And I think that's successfully throwing Caprice Coleman off his game plan this evening. The Jeremy Lopez fan club has not been increased too much here tonight, I believe.
Running the rampant, the little Jerlows.
Low drop kick, a Jerlow drop kick, you might say, to the back of the head of Caprice Coleman. Hopefully sometime in this edition of NWA Wildside, I know I saw Rick Michaels walking around the parking lot. Maybe if he could be persuaded to come to the middle of the ring, which I'm sure he probably could, maybe we can get some of the lowdown on what the hell is going on.
Oh, I would love to find out what's in that asswipe's mind.
Asswipe, huh?
Hey, he's an asswipe. I can say worse, but we get moved to 4 in the morning.
That's old school term, asswipe, I like that.
Kick to the face, Coleman up and over. Reverse sit-up face slam by Caprice Ice Coleman.
Jeremy Lopez in a pinning predicament. What will it take to pin Jeremy Lopez? I don't believe Caprice Coleman has been getting any VTRs of Jeremy Lopez's Osaka Pro match. Let's come to think of it. I don't think Lopez has either.
He's been bugging me for some. Beautiful exchange of pinfalls there.
It's a pinfall clinic. Unbelievable. One counter after another. I haven't seen referee Speedy Nelson work this hard. I've never seen Speedy Nelson work this hard.
Both men down now. Speedy Nelson issuing the 10 count. Both of these superstars will be in action when Wildside makes his Metro Atlanta debut at the Globe Theater, downtown Atlanta, Saturday night, September the 29th. If you're watching us, continue to watch us on the AT&T Broadband Cable Channel 25 in DeKalb County. Going for the elevated DDT. Almost shock.
Out of nowhere, which is precisely the way Caprice Coleman likes it. That's not enough for young Mr. Coleman. He's up on the top rope. A leg drop of massive proportions, and he pins Jeremy Lopez.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, Caprice Ice Coleman.
Two competitors quite obviously at the top of the game.
Dan the Dragon Wilson here with the most phenomenal athlete in pro wrestling, AJ Styles, and with the genetic freak of Wildside, Onyx. And guys, you know, the last time we saw both of you on television, you were robbed, rooked, and crooked by the NWA Elite, AJ, Jason Cross, and it was a plot all against you.
Well, it's pretty sad, Cross. With all the ability that you have to use the ref as a prop to knock me off the ropes and then get him to have a fast count for you. You know, it's pretty sad to know that you have to go through all that just to beat me. But you know, I'm AJ Styles, and we'll meet again. And when we do, I'll beat you. Don't believe me? Watch me.
And Onyx, I know you got your sights set on all that Adam Jacobs and the World Television Championship.
What you see here is genetics, pure genetics. It doesn't get me better than this. Adam Jacobs, I got something that you don't have, but yet you have something that I don't have, the GOAT. One thing, ever since I was a kid, I've always risen from the bottom to the top. Y'all take a good look, the Phenom, Onyx. 2 weeks from now, me and you in the ring. I'm gonna beat you. 1, 2, 3.
Onyx could be the new world television champion, and AJ Styles wants to get his hands on Jason Cross, and we'll see that next week in a tag team no disqualification match.
Have that music,
you know, there's been a lot of rumors and a lot of speculation, and a lot of people are wondering, but now, tonight, you get to find out the truth. First of all, you may be wondering who this gentleman with me is.
Gentleman?
He goes by the name of Big Business Brown, and he is the former owner of the Home Shopping Network, a man who once made a play to own USWA. And now he's going to be my my financial consultant. And we have found some Canadian investors. And tonight I am proud to introduce to all of you people the new owner of Wildside. And it is I, Jeff G. Bailey, your own Wildside deity. I am now the boss of everything. Finally, the National Wrestling Alliance has an owner that they can be proud of, not some morbidly obese used car salesman or some dirty ethnic that doesn't know a damn thing about wrestling. And I know some people are going to say, well, Jeff, what do you know about wrestling? Let me explain something to you. When you've done what I've done, which is winning acquittals for rapists, murderers, and child molesting drug dealers, you come in contact with all the same kind of people you're going to deal with in professional wrestling. So, now, as the owner, I'm going to take on a couple of things that need to be addressed. You know, I've been studying other owners of professional wrestling, and I know that to be great, I have to follow in their footsteps. I know that I have to be kind and caring and considerate to all my wrestlers, just like Cowboy Bill Watts. I understand that there is no sacrifice too great for this business, just like Fritz Von Erich. What? And I know that just like Herb Abrams, there's nobody more important than the owner, and that's me. And so the first order of business is going to be to take care of this one person who has been flouting the drug policy around here. Anyone with a brain can see it. He's trying to gain an unfair advantage, and you all know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Onyx, because it is obvious that Onyx is on steroids. He has used steroids for a long time now. He's swole up like a big balloon. But you see, Onyx, I'm instituting a steroid policy starting tonight. And I want Nurse Kathy to come up here. Where's our nurse at? And I want you to take this to Onyx and make sure that you watch him do it, because he'll try and switch the urine because he's sneaky like that. I want you to personally watch him urinate in this cup and make sure that it gets to the proper authorities, because Onyx, you're not going to get away with this any longer. You might get to wrestle tonight, but I'll tell you this much, if you don't pass that steroid test, you'll never wrestle in the JGB arena again. Now, business, I know you'd probably like to say something to these people. Go ahead.
Mr. Bailey, first of all, you people had better pay this man the respect he well deserves. I'm telling you right now, if you don't quiet down, Counselor Bailey's gonna sue every one of you.
Counselor? I'm sorry, Dan. I think you and I walked into the wrong show. Where are we?
Let me tell you people something right now. I have the privilege. I'm talking. You shut your mouth before I come. It's all right. Okay. Let me tell you people something. It is my honor and my privilege to be the financial strength behind Mr. Jeff G. Bailey. Can I get an amen?
Now, as an owner, I may not be able to be out here with my guys at ringside every time, but I'm not going to let the NWA Elite suffer. So what I'm doing is I'm putting together a support staff, and the first man I've chosen is a man who told you people he would walk away from this building, but I have convinced him to join my team. He is a creative genius. He is a visionary. He is the man singly responsible for making World Championship Wrestling and the World Wrestling Federation great. And his name is Ed Ferrara. Now show him the respect he deserves.
That's it. I've gone through the vortex and ended up in hell. I'm in hell, Dan.
I thought we were in a bad episode of Star Trek.
No episode of Star Trek's ever been this bad. Well, maybe Voyager.
God, we are so great.
I can't take all this information. This is bizarre.
I'm scared to death.
Biz damn czar. That's what this is.
First of all, Jeff, Mr. Bailey, I want to personally thank you for recognizing a visionary when you see one.
He's the only one.
And now, if you don't mind, I'd like to address one piece of business that I think was left dangling. When you last saw me...
Yes, he did get his ass kicked.
See, that's exactly why I've always said I have a problem with women in wrestling. But unfortunately, if we could just get some women in this building, it would be a step in the right direction. Now, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by the cow in the front row. I said a few things in the past about women in wrestling. Now I'm going to say something that you never are going to hear me say again, and you never heard me say before. I was wrong. Women do have a place in wrestling. They do. And I'm going to prove that to all of you tonight. I am going to call out here someone who, after I thought about it, was ultimately responsible for all of the problems that I've had of late. And I am going to give her a very special opportunity. So without further ado, I would like to have Persephane join us here in this ring. Persephane, if you wouldn't mind.
What on earth is happening here? Wow.
I'm at a loss for words.
Now, Persephane, I just have something I want to say to you. All of my problems here of late in Wildside, I take it back to you. But I'm going to give you a very special opportunity here tonight. I am going to give you the opportunity to apologize to me. You can apologize to me, I'll write it off, and we can both go on with our lives. But there's a very special way I want you to apologize to me. So that way I know that you mean it. Persephone, I'm going to allow you to give me a little kiss on my cheek.
Hope you had her shot.
And when you do that, I'll know that you regret what you started. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I just want you to lay one on me, Persephone, right here. I'm giving you a very special opportunity. Lay one on me.
You want me to lay one on you?
Yes, I do, Persephone. Please, by all means, right here.
Gee, I wonder if you can see this one coming, Dan. Well, Ed Ferrara obviously did.
Now, that's exactly what I thought you would do, darling. But there's a little something that you don't realize. Does this look familiar to you? You see, thanks to Mr. Bailey, I've done a little business deal myself. This is your contract. And now I own it, which means I own you. So now I want you to rethink what you just tried to do, little lady, because I know how much wrestling means to you. I know how much you love being a girl wrestler. And if you ever want to wrestle again, if you ever want to hear these people cheer for you again, you will apologize to me. And not only that, don't forget, I own you. You are going to be attached to my hip. When I say jump, you will say how high. When I call, you will come running, and you will do everything that I tell you to do with a big smile on that pretty face of yours, because if you do not, you will never wrestle again. So now, let's think about this. Let's be smart about this. I know how much this means to you. One little kiss on the cheek, and we can call it even. I'll still own you, but you might wrestle again one day. The choice is up to you, Persephone. If you want to wrestle, you do what I say when I say it. Now, apologize.
Well, this sort of explains one thing, Dan. Why Ed Ferrara didn't get too much mic time in WCW. Oh my goodness, Persephone plants a wet one on the cheek of Ed Ferrara.
You know, under normal circumstances, I would say that was good, but you know what? I've had better than you, and that wasn't good.
Really?
But
Ed
don't worry,
by a woman?
I intend on working with you a lot, and you'll get better, if you know what I mean. But I don't think that apology was enough, so what I want you to do now, if you ever want to wrestle again, if you ever want to entertain these fine Wildside fans again. How am I doing? Thank you. Persephone, I want you to kiss my foot. I want you to kiss my foot. And if you don't, you will never put on wrestling tights and wrestling boots again. You will never do anything except what I say. You will do my laundry. You will clean my house. If you want it, come and get it. Do what I say. This is the beginning of a new career for you. I own you. You do what I say. Kiss my foot, and maybe if I feel like it, I'll let you wrestle again someday. Let's see it. Let's see if you mean it. I know, the choice is yours. We don't have all night. We got people lined up back there. If you ever want to wrestle again, all you got to do is get down on your knees in front of me and kiss my foot. We'll think of other things to do later, though.
Persephone is getting down on all fours.
How humiliating for this poor young lady.
About to kiss the foot.
That was fantastic.
Only the second time
you know
that Ferrara has
what?
ever
You
been
did
kissed.
such a good job there, darling. I'll see you in the back, and I'll see if I can think of something else for you to kiss, okay? Thank you. Thank you all.
The subtle.
What an asshole.
They're almost as subtle as you are, Dan. Gee, if I'd have known taking this long, I would have brought my shaving kit.
God bless America and Jeff G. Bailey.
And don't forget, in the Metro Atlanta area, Saturday night, September the 29th, at the Globe Theater. All of our fans watching us on cable channel 25 in DeKalb County will note, coming up, September the 29th, Blackout will be there. They will be defending those tag team championships against an unnamed opponent. Their matchups with TNT have been absolutely phenomenal. Oh, my body rock on Gabriel. Their matches with TNT have been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, you notice, however, they still have designs on TNT. Remember, just last week, we saw the Lost Boys atop the NCW arena watching the tag team proceeding continuing. The TNT Lost Boys saga continues on here at Wildside.
Scooping a slam by Gabriel. Arabian press. 2 count only.
These Lost Boys work so well with each other. They've had plenty of experience, and their winning ways, their won-loss record is actually among the best in Wildside in a long, long time. What are they trying to attempt to do here? On poor Rain Man. I don't think that head could take too much more punishment.
Rainman in the ring. Rainman the high flyer.
Not anymore.
The really match removal of the Lost Boys. The Lost Boys in firm control here. Big elbow drop by Azrael. And these children were metamorphosized, the Lost Boys, children of the night, metamorphosized by the sinister minister. He got these guys' ear, and they just became so bizarre week after week, and now they're becoming progressively more evil week after week. It's become very disturbing to see the Lost Boys out here in action. Still wildly popular with our fans. Big bulldog by Homicide.
Well, in this era of the anti-hero, it just goes to show you that the more bizarre you become, the more loved you become by all the fans here. And we like a pretty crazy bunch of folks here at the NCW Arena here at Wildside. Hopefully the folks in Atlanta will realize that too when Wildside makes its Atlanta Metropolitan debut on September the 29th at the Globe Theater, 1599 Memorial Drive, halfway between Little Five Points and East Atlanta.
Well, Blackout's certainly going to be there in the house defending those tag team championships. The Lost Boys also going to be there along with a 3-way dance. TNT and the New Heavenly Bodies for the NWA World Tag Team Championships.
It's going to be an amazing, amazing night of action. It'll be the first time really good wrestling has been in Atlanta in decades, it seems.
Ages upon ages. Since the days of Center Stage Theater. And in the 90s, that was debatable.
Well before Center Stage Theater, I'll have you know, Dan.
The Lost Boys and TNT tearing the proverbial house down. Excuse me, Lost Boys and Blackout, the Wildside Tag Team Champions. I just don't have my mind in focus here after all the incidents gone down in Wildside. Big drop kick by Rain Man. And Blackout so hated here. These crowds, they just get under the skin.
No kidding. I'd be quite curious to see how well Blackout goes over with the fans at the Globe Theater on September 29th.
Well, they're certainly going to be there.
They certainly are.
And they've got an open challenge. I would hate to see some of those rowdy Atlanta fans show up want to challenge for those tag team titles.
No argument here. When I know there comes the rowdy fans, I know they make it pretty rowdy in Dallas, Texas. You watch us every week on KLDT TV, channel 55, every Sunday night at 10 o'clock.
And they make a lot of that great fans in Hickory, North Carolina. Watching us Tuesday night at 6 p.m. on WHKY 14. Big thanks to Jeff Hall, the station manager, and all of our buddies there in Hickory, North Carolina. Homicide in control of this matchup.
Big fist to the head of Gabriel.
And big thank you once again to our friends at OneWrestling.com. Gonna be airing NWA Wildside. Oh my goodness! There's another head sandwich by Blackout. Gonna be airing Wildside on the One Wrestling Premium site very soon. Bob Ryder, Dave Sheriff, thanks a lot, guys.
Yep, you get to hear the hotlines from my old friend Joey Styles on that premium website.
No comment.
You ought to listen to some of Joey Styles stuff. He ain't half bad. He's got a future in insurance.
Rain Man on the top rope.
Oh, quick shot to the cards.
Oh my goodness, footbuster off the top. Gabriel's in a world of hurt now.
That can't make anybody feel good. Azrael in to break up the pin. Rain Man takes up some exception to that.
Rain Man and Homicide are very fluid as a team. And you know, you had that body count rising week after week, as you saw on Wildside. All the wrestlers they put out of action. Small package for Gabriel.
And in the process, I think that Homicide pretty much landed on his head. Testament to the fortitude of Homicide. He got up from that.
Oh, Homicide's as tough as they come. He's a brawler straight down to the core of Thug. And there's no other explanation for that.
Yeah, a brawler and a Thug understanding. You land on your head, you land on your head.
Big drop kick by Gabriel. This is his opportunity. His loophole in the law, so to speak.
Good analogy, Dan. And speaking of law, I feel like hiring a lawyer of my own to see if we can some way of getting Jeff Bailey out of his new role as the owner. My God, the owner of NWA Wildside. Hopefully Bill Behrens will have some comments in coming weeks here on the show to see how he fits into this race. Okay, it's Azrael charging in, knocking down both members of Blackout like dominoes.
Scooping and slamming in by Azrael. The Lost Boys on fire here.
A flying elbow.
There's the fallen Arcadia. The fallen Arcadia and Speedy Nelson.
Speedy Nelson out of the picture.
That's a chair shot there.
Yes, that's how we play musical chairs here at the Wildside. But now Azrael getting it handed to him.
Oh, look at Rain Man. Keep your eye on Rain Man. Look what he's got.
A baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. Good Lord.
Oh, my goodness.
Referee Speedy Nelson sees it. He's within his right to disqualify.
Oh, good Lord.
Bash that bat against the chair, which hit the head of Azrael. Blackout obviously disqualified in this match. The belt obviously stayed with the champions being Blackout. But the damage done to the head of Azrael with that bat, which doesn't even need to be wrapped in barbed wire, but it is. Oh, God, it's going to be ugly. This is ugly. Oh, Lord. That bat with the barbed wire being driven into the skull of Azrael. Referee Speedy Nelson lost all control of this. Oh, this is getting beyond grotesque here.